So is it visible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So today's topic is structure query language, that is SQL. So we'll see basic of SQL. Just a second.
Team, I just wanted to mention SQL is mandatory for everybody. Even people who are a Scrum Master, business analyst, there is no choice that you can be sustaining in IT without knowing SQL query. Some or other places you will require this. So focus on it. If you do not know, if you know it is very basic for you and you are good already, then you can skip. Or else it is for you also. Go ahead.
Okay. First, we will see what is a database. So, database is a collection of data in a format that can be easily accessed. That is, digitally we can access it. So, we have like big companies like Google, Facebook, Instagram, Microsoft. So, this companies have lot of data. To store that data, we use database. So like for example, if for Facebook we have to make an account. In that we have to add email ID, password, and many other information. So we have to share all those data. So we have to store that data. We need a database. A software application used to manage our database is called as DBMS. DBMS means database management system. So it is a software to manage all the database. That is, if you want to add a new data, or if you want to if you want to delete a data, old data, or search any data, we use DBMS. So we will see what the types of database. So first type is relational. Data stored in tables is called as relational database. For example, MySQL, SQL Server, Oracle, etc. So for example, in a school, like a class teacher maintains a register. So in that we have a table like roll number, name, and all those things. So same table in digital format we can make. So that table is called as relational database. So second one is non-relational, that is no SQL. So we don't store data in tables. For example, MongoDB database. So if there is no table and we directly write in a like a paragraph format, that is called as non-relational relational database. And no SQL means SQL do not understand this language. So that is called as database, non-relational database. So what is SQL? SQL means structure query language. SQL is a programming language used to interact with relational database. It is used to perform CRUD operations, create, read, update, and delete. So SQL is a language where computer understands, and this language is used in a database to interact with it. So the CRUD operations like create, read, update, delete. So we perform this major four operations. So first one is create. To create means to create a database. Read means in a database, if you want to read a data, we use read. Then update. So in a database, if you want to make any changes or update any data, we use update. And last one is delete. So if you want to delete a data in a database, we perform delete operation. So like how to create a database, I will show. This is an SQL. So here we write a query. We like how to run SQL query. I will show you in a database.
Your point was how to create a database. So you can show how
Yes.
to create a database
How?
here.
Yes. So we write create database and we write a database name. For example, temp1, temperature, temp1. So here we can create a database. So here database is created temp1. We can also write in lowercase. That is also. So here the temp2 is also created. We can also delete this database. So we use drop database and temp1. So so here we can delete database, drop database temp1, and so your database is deleted temp1. So refresh all, only temp2 is there, temp1 is deleted. So like how to create a database, so we will see use, how, what is use. So use database is database name. So use is like if, just I will show you. I will create first database called college. H1. So here the college one database is created, and we will, so use is used like from now onwards we are using this database, and all the related changes we are performing, like we will use in the college we are using use command. Okay, so now we will create table, column, data type, and we will add all this column 1, column 2, and column 3. So here we are creating a table for college. So we are creating a table student.
आपका ऑफिस किधर है? पार्टी वाला में? ये तो मैं एक बार
So table is created, student. Now we will add insert a data into it. So insert into
कल हाँ एक पेपर में भेजो तो कल हो सके तो वो निकाल
so we will add id int is a data type for id and primary key is the constraint. We are adding the second column as name. In that data type is varchar. Size is 50 and third one is age and constraint is not null. So here we have inserted the data in the table. So refresh all. So in the college, your table is created. So here in the column here ID, name and age is created. So now we can insert the values in it. So we are using insert into student, table name student, values in bracket. We are writing ID as 1, the name as like Payal and age 23. So here we have inserted the values. Refresh all.
Yeah, guys, just one instruction for the others listening, right? So even if you know that this is how things are created and done, you can just simply ask some questions to her, right? Just have some conversation so that you are engaged and also she is engaged. That will help both sides, okay?
So
Even if you know, purposely ask some questions.
so here also we can see in this way that we have added the, like there are column as age, ID and name, or else we can just write select star from and student. And here we can see a table. So here it is added ID, name and age. One name as Payal and age is 23. So in this way we can create like how we can create a database, how we can delete a database, and how can we add like insert, add the data in the columns. Now we will see SQL data types. Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
So SQL data types. So most commonly SQL data types we can see here. Like first is char. So char means string in bracket. It's 0 to 25 size to 255. So char is we can store characters of fixed length. That is we can use as char in bracket 50. So if you want to store like name, address or city name or location, country name, so we are using string value. So we are using char. Second is varchar. String, the size is from 0 to 255. Can store characters up to given length, and we can use as varchar in bracket 50. Okay. So here also we can use as like name, address, city name, location, country name. So here also we are using string values. Third one is, for example, I will tell you the difference between char and varchar. So in column 1, we have taken 50 length. So the computer memory in that 50 byte memory is reserved in it. If you want to store a city name like Pune, so and leftover space will also be reserved. That means like insufficient process is done in this in char data type. And but in varchar only the space which he needs he will reserve in it. Like for example, if he is taking city name as Mumbai, so only that space will be reserved. Other will not be reserved in it. Means other memory will not be stored in that. Only preferred space will be reserved in varchar. So this is the difference between char and varchar. Third is blob, that is string in sizes 0 to 65535, can store only binary large object. So we are using blob in bracket 1000. Fourth one is int, integer. So this it will take like, so it can store negative, positive string values in it. So we are using int. Tiny int means integer from -128 to 127. So we are using tiny int. Big int Integer, it starts from -9, so it takes positive, negative numbers, so using big int. Bit can store x byte values. X can range from 1 to 64. So if there is a, here it's bit 2, so that means it will store like 00, 01, 10, 11. So in this way bit stores the value. Then it's float. So float is a decimal number with precisions to 23 digits, that is float. So we want to use like decimal number, like for example 12.5. So we are using float. Double, decimal number with 24 to 53 digits, that is we are using double. So if you want to use like a big decimal numbers, so we are using double. Boolean values 0 or 1. So in this we are using as true or false, so we are using Boolean. The next is date. So date in format of YYYY, month, that is year, month and date, ranging from 1000, 01, 01 to 9999, 12 and 31. So in this way we are using date. And the last one is year. So year in 4 digits format, ranging from 1901 to 2155. So this is the format we are using for year. So these are the SQL data types which are commonly used.
हाँ, मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो लिफ्ट रूम के ऊपर मट्टी करने के लिए बालू चाहिए ना, तो बालू ऊपर उठा सकते हैं डायरेक्ट। हाँ मोटा, हाँ बाहर मोटा वाला ये है ना।
So the next one is types of SQL commands. So first one is DDL, that is data definition language. So in DDL we want like it's create, alter, rename, truncate and drop. So if we want to create a database, we create a table and then we can rename a table, delete a table. So this operation is done in DDL. Second one is DML, that is data manipulation language. So here we can use select, insert, update and delete. So now if you want to create a table, in that if you want to see the table, so we use select option. So in select command, sorry. So we are using here DML, that is data manipulation language. Third one is DCL, that is data control language. So in DCL, we can use command as grant and revoke permission to users. So in DCL, to give permission, that is to give permission. So for example, if we are taken two tables, that is fees and remarks. So your fees will be taken care by the account team and the marks will be taken by the teacher. So here we have DCL, so that is data control language. And the last one is TCL, that is transaction control language. So it works with transaction commit and rollbacks. So it comes in advance. So these are the types of SQL commands. So the next one is keys. So here there are two types of keys, that is primary key and foreign key. So primary key, it is a column or a set of columns in a table that uniquely identifies each row. That is a unique ID. So there is only one primary key and it should not be not null. So in second one is foreign key. So it is a column or set of columns in a table that refers to the primary key in another table. There can be multiple foreign keys. Foreign keys can have duplicate and null values. So these are the examples of foreign and primary key. So here there are two tables, that is table 1 as student and table 2 as city. So in tables, first table, that is student table, we have 4 columns, that is ID, name, city ID and city. And in the city table we have ID and city name. So in the student table, ID is the primary key, and in the city table, so here also ID is a primary key for city. But in the student table, city ID will be the foreign key, as here is a primary key and In the city ID, it's a foreign key because in one table there will be only one primary key, and so this is the difference between city primary key and the foreign key. And the last one is constraints. So SQL constraints are used to specify rules for data in a table. So there are 5 constraints, that is not null. So column cannot have a null value. For example, column 1, we are writing as column 1 int not null. So here we have to add any values in it. The data should not be null, so we have to add we have to add a value in it. Second one is unique. All values in column are different. For example, column 2 int unique. So unique is a constraint. So in this we have to add new values. We don't have to repeat, or don't have to new unique values we have to add in it. Third one is primary key. Makes a column unique and not null, but used only for one. For example, ID int primary key. So by default, the value should be unique and not null in the primary key. Fourth one is foreign key. Prevent actions that will destroy links between tables. For example, here we have taken table as create table temp, and there is also a second table as customer. So here customer ID int is the column for the temp, and if we are using your foreign key customer ID reference to customer in bracket ID. So that means 2 table is linked. So now we have created like a table as temp, and also we have created table as customer. So in that customer ID int, so there is one table like customer foreign key customer ID. It refers to customer. So that means customer is referred to customer ID. The last one is default, that is sets the default value of a column. For example, salary int default, and it's 25,000. So it is used to set a default value. For example, like employee table, we have taken an employee table. In that, if you want to add a column as salary column, so in that, if any employee do not know the salary, so in that, by default, the salary should add as 25,000. So this is it. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So what are the next you have?
There are some topics needs to cover, so that I will cover in the next session.
Okay, then I think that's all we had. Anki, I'll give you a call, huh?
Sure, sir. Sure, waiting.